That's Sarah.
And that's Anna.
And this is the Midnight Girl Cast. Welcome back.
Hello.
You thought we were gone for good.
Never. You can't get rid of us that easy.
That's
My
right.
kids were sick, so
Take that.
just one kid actually, but it was really rough. She watched Frozen 3 times that day, and
I was like, Frozen 3, it's not even out yet. Oh my God.
Frozen 1, Frozen 2, and then Frozen 1 again. And she really hated the commercials.
Me too.
For 2 minutes straight, for 45 minutes if you probably add it all together. It was Elsa, 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 Elsa. I'm like, I swear she's coming back. I swear. Patience.
You were like, I promise.
No, I wanted to check myself into a facility.
Yeah, I've heard your children scream in the background, and as you've heard mine, and it's a lot.
Yeah, it's piercing. But we didn't want to get anybody else sick, so we did not record last week.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I know you all missed us, but we're back.
We missed you.
And we're really excited to tell you what we're wearing.
Oh my God. Can you tell me why you're wearing what you're wearing?
So this episode today, we are going to talk about cults.
Yes, that's right.
And you know what cult we're a part of?
Oh, I think I might know, Sarah. Does it start with a D?
Oh, we're just going to say we're
a big D?
People are like, what are you guys talking about? We're talking about Draco Malfoy.
Draco Malfoy, baby.
Our cult has one leader who holds all the power.
And all
we
the
would
vaults.
give him all of our autonomy.
Trust us when we tell you. Easy choice.
So today, in honor of our cult daddy, we wore our matching shirts that has Draco Malfoy and Harry Potter drinking in a bar, whiskey, Harry Potter is smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, thanks, Timu.
I wore this out of the house today, and
you didn't.
I did. And my friend Nick was over watching the games with my husband, and I was like, look how cool. And our friend Nick's like, when did that happen?
And he goes, I don't remember that in the movie.
I think it's AI, and it also happens in all of our fanfics. So,
every single one. Do you want me to tell you what they're talking about right now?
probably Draco's trying to get out of his marriage with Astoria Greengrass.
Yeah, and then Harry Potter's probably looking at Draco and saying, You like who?
Hermione?
Hermione? Look at me. Look at me.
Guys, you just have to get on the fanfic.
You need to be in this cult. This cult is the BEST.
Yeah, I met 2 girls yesterday at the baby shower, and they also read fanfiction.
Oh
and you know what her baby's name was? That's why I said Astoria Greengrass. You know why?
Astoria?
Well, he's usually married to Astoria or going to be married to Astoria, but her baby named Astoria.
Wow.
And I go, oh, like what? We're introducing each other's kids to each other.
Commitment.
And her name is Astoria. And I go, oh, I love that name from Astoria Greengrass and Harry Potter. She looks at her husband. She looks at me and she goes, she understands.
She goes,
I go, wait.
She's a part of the cult.
I go, wait, is that why you named her? And she goes, yeah. And I go, I have new friends.
You said, did we just make a pact? Are we?
Do you want a t-shirt?
Besties? You like slowly unroll your normal t-shirt to like this one, and you're just like, you mean Draco? You mean his story?
No, it was amazing. So we just chatted about our favorite fanfic books. And
can I tell you, I had the same experience with my cousin Amanda. Oh. Yes, do we start a group chat? We should, honestly.
No, a Facebook group. That's when you know the cult is really real.
Girl. No, I literally was texting her. We've been texting and voice messaging and catching up. And her husband bought her the not the written, but the printed version of Manacled for Christmas. And she cried. She said, super illegal,
hey, but I also love that.
Do not rain on anyone's parade. You will not know my last name.
Funny Girl.
It's a good one.
I am trying so hard not to break out. I'm trying really hard not to break out a song. I know my place, and it's not to sing.
Stop. You can sing as much as you want.
Girl, your pitch is off.
I'm ashamed. I hate myself. I'm sorry. Will you ever forgive me?
Yeah, when I start singing again, you know I've forgiven you. Okay, so we need to tell the people that I actually went and saw the show, Harry
Yeah.
Potter and the Cursed Child with Tom Felton. We saw Daddy Draco on stage, real time.
You cried. I
I
cried.
cried. I cried because of the show. I will say the show was
The
amazing.
show is amazing.
With or without Daddy Draco, it would
Agreed.
have been amazing. It was
Yes.
so magical. They did really amazing, I don't know, stunts? I don't know what you call it, like magicalness
Magic.
on the stage. And I
Yes.
felt like I was at Hogwarts.
Remember when I told you the same thing? I
Yeah.
said, I feel like magic is real.
No, it very much felt like magic was real. We dressed up. I went with coworkers. We each dressed up in like our own house, but like in a classy, wintry way. It was
Yes,
super
it was
cutie.
super cute.
I'll post a pic.
I'll send you my pic too.
He got like a 5-minute standing O.
Yeah, everybody
as-
was obsessed with him.
As soon as he got on stage, though. And
Yeah,
everyone was like, you can't go to the bathroom until he gets there. And that's like 7 minutes into the show. And they're like, don't leave. Don't leave. And
wait, why?
because like he's like, you don't want to miss Draco coming out.
Okay, yes,
Yeah, you don't want to miss Tom coming out. And then
yeah,
when he did Potter.
Oh, I mean,
Potter. It was just amazing.
It's taking New York so much by force that there was an article written about like it being the longest time that they have had somebody like had so many consistent pauses. Like I guess what I'm meaning to say is
so many people were clapping in the middle of the show. Is that what you
mean?
mean?
No, it's so consistent. Every show that Tom Felton appears in, like every single one, has at least over a 30-second standing ovation when he comes out.
No, it was intense. And then every time he says a line, it's like the crowd doesn't. He like has to pause and wait for people to stop clapping. When he said the Hermione line, and he said Hermione Granger just ordered me about, and I think I liked it.
Oh, I bet everybody lost it.
I was beside myself. I actually I couldn't even understand what he was saying because I was like hiding under my coat. Because I was like, this is amazing. And I'm so uncomfortable, but I also love it.
Don't understand why you did any of that.
Why did you? So I'm the kind of person
you were just like
that like I love Hallmark. But when something cringy happened, you know how we feel. I know how you feel about Hallmark. So does everybody else.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing because I'm understanding where you're going with this.
Anything cringy happens, my sister and I are the same way.
Yeah.
Some people kick their feet, la la la, ha ha ha. I hide under the blankets. My sister and I are like, sometimes we fast forward.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
Yeah, our husband's like, what are you doing? They're just kissing. And I'm like, no, I like the kissing. I just don't like the awkward stumbling before and after.
I just don't like all of this.
Making me uncomfortable.
This dance is not good.
No. Yeah.
No.
Anyway, it was magical. It was amazing. That was definitely my brain buzzing this week.
You know what, Sarah? That was what your brain was buzzing about this week. You best know that that's what my brain was buzzing about this week.
Well, it was on the cult agenda for the week.
I mean, Draco is our cult.
Draco is our cult. So let's talk about some real cults. We're going to get
into
merch. Draco is my cult. Would you guys buy that? Because I might just sell us out.
If you wouldn't buy it, I'd buy it. I like it, so
we'll send it to the 5 girls we know who also read Harry Potter fans.
Yeah.
So our episode is actually pretty serious this week. We're going to talk about cults, and we're going to talk about
your voice cut. So
this is my business voice.
I know, but I thought we were about to like share like dark period stories or something. I was just like,
it's like my presentation voice. I'm giving a presentation. Okay, so obviously this episode is about cults. We just told you about ours, and we're going to talk about a couple of the other ones that are pretty popular, right? So our job is not to tell you what's right or wrong. We're going to give you the red flags of what people perceive as cults. And it's not about the belief. It's about the authority over your belief system and the consequences of that belief if you don't believe it anymore. And so something I'm going to talk about is Scientology. I think it's so fascinating, Scientology. I've watched every like Leah Remini's documentaries, anything that she has out, I'm like gobbling it up.
And I'm going to be talking about the FLDS, which stands for Fundamental Latter-day Saints. And it's different from your typical Mormonism, which is what you're probably going to find on your favorite TV show right now, which is Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. It's different, but it's rooted there. The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives come from a branch of the Fundamental Latter-day Saints. So it's important, I think, to talk about cults at the root of the problem. Because I mean, you grow up in cults like this and you think that what you're experiencing is normal and not extreme. And if I knew that that was the root of my faith, I would probably have a problem with it. I'd probably have to look back and do some research. And I'd probably basically I would want to know. So we're talking about those type of cults. They are different.
So we want to start off with Scientology, and I can kick it off. So
Kick it.
amazing. So Scientology didn't actually start as a religion. It started in the 1950s as a self-help system called Dianetics, created by L. Ron Hubbard, who was actually a science fiction writer.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Interesting.
Okay, can I tell you one of his most
Yeah,
famous quotes?
please.
He said, if you want to get rich, then you need to make a religion.
Interesting. Maybe if people did a little bit of research before signing on the dotted line,
Mm-hmm.
then we would save a lot of people some heartache there.
Yeah.
So what Scientology says is that Thetans are eternal. They live many past lives. So Scientology's main premise is for you to deal with the trauma of your past lives right now. So they're called enneagrams. It's what causes pain, anxiety, and limitations in the person you are today. So the goal of Scientology is to free the Thetan from those enneagrams. What? Of course it's confusing. It's a cult. They need to confuse you. They need to give you all of this information, overload you. There are so many different nuances to Scientology. One, it's in Clearwater. So they bought about, 15 buildings in downtown Clearwater. They're all over everywhere. They have sea orgs where people are on boats. Now, huge vessels. They don't come home.
Mm.
You sign over for eternity. You cannot have relationships with people that are outside of Scientology. They use celebrities like Tom Cruise to gain followers. And those celebrities don't necessarily always have the same experience as those that are in the religion because they're the spokespeople, right? They don't want you to have the same experience because it's scary behind the wall, right? So the goal is for you to keep advancing. One of the things I learned in the documentary is at the very end is about an alien, which again, if we go back to who Hubbard was, the founder, he was a science fiction writer. An alien is what you learn about at the top of your advancement. Think about this. You've already spent $30,000 in Scientology.
Yeah.
And then you go, I'm confused. I don't know what to do now.
Yeah.
I'm like questioning it. Well, now you're going to tell them that you're questioning it because that's what you've been indoctrinated to do.
Yeah.
And they are going to then, if you decide to leave, you are then a suppressive person, meaning any connection that you made in the church. Let's say you were born into the church and you decide to leave. You are still a suppressive person and your entire family will cut contact with you.
Mm-hmm.
Your entire family. That disconnection is a huge pressure point. So again, a huge red flag into the consequences of questioning your belief.
I think that's a good place to harp on as well, and just like talk about, because excommunication in any religion, I don't think is something that is normal. I don't think anybody should look upon that and say, "That's a good thing to do."
Agreed.
I don't think that treating people that way is at all helpful. I think it's very manipulative in cult-like settings especially, because it's usually the families that they wanna cut off. Um, and then if they ever find out that you have had contact, then now you're a suppressive person, and then who knows what they're charging because they have to lay their hands on those machines and get readings, right?
Mhm.
Some type of reading, and that's like $10,000 right then, and they do them, very periodically,
Yeah.
like, it's a part of their practice.
Yeah.
So, that's a lot of money to just give as a normal person and in a daily practice. So, who knows what the church would be putting on the family of now 2 suppressive people who have exited. It's just the worst part that cults do is that they get into your heart and they say, not only are you punishing yourself in this reality, but you're going to be punishing yourself in the next reality as well.
Yeah. They
And
believe in like that
yes,
like reincarnation, right? That's what we talked about. Like your thetan is your eternity. It's you're going to be consistently reincarnated, and the mistakes that you make right now are what's going to drive your future life
right.
and every future life after that.
Yeah.
I think if you just look at the abuse red flags, right? We all have heard this, and we know some of those abusive red flags of you trying to seclude from your family so they can't see what's going on. Exactly. It's abuse at its core
Mm-hmm.
of what a cult does and what Scientology is doing. And so I also think, we're talking about these very specific ones, but we're obviously Christian. It happens in our church too,
Yeah.
happens in Catholicism, and they are sections or churches specifically. And so thinking about these red flags is something I want us to consider. So before we move
Mhm.
on, I want to actually go into the bite method. So let me find it.
Ooh, Sarah, what is the bite method? And before we go into the bite method, I just wanted to hark in on what you said too. I think that anything can become too extreme
Absolutely.
because yes, we are Christians. We do believe that there is one God, and we love our faith, right? Even I've been caught up in something that went too deep, that went too rigid, and it ended it ended up destroying me for a while. So I think that people need to look and see, like, the culture that you are a part of. You really need to be careful about it, and you need to know that culture, and you need to have real life boundaries.
Absolutely. The boundaries part,
Mhm.
100%, right? If you feel like they are encroaching on your autonomy, it's a strong boundary to hold,
Absolutely.
right? And you don't need to show up on Sunday because they're forcing you to show up on a Sunday. So the bite method is actually from a expert in cults named Steve Hassan, and it's so think of bite as individual. So B is for behavioral control, controlling actions, relationships, and your daily life. I is for information control, restricting outside information, media, and critics. So in Scientology, you do not have access to outside media,
Mhm.
something that you are not allowed to look up Scientology on Google. You are absolutely not allowed to converse with people about Scientology because it is culturally a cult and
That's
they do not
wild.
want you to know.
That's so wild because they have people in media
Mhm.
saying repping Scientology. I wonder how, like, Tom Cruise handles his life like that.
I know, and still is a huge movie star. He was just in the final Impossible.
Oh, I know, but his wife is like all of his wives. I mean, Nicole Kidman is photographed very famously for her divorce walk
Mm,
out of because she's free.
mhm.
She was free of his abuse, his emotional abuse.
Yeah,
And I think it does stem from this.
Oh, it has to. It has to.
Yeah.
It consumes your entire life.
Mhm.
So T is for thought control, discouraging critical thinking. It's us versus them logic. That mentality of they're against you. They're always going to be against you. Your mom, who loves you, doesn't actually understand you anymore. And that is why you have to not talk to her anymore.
Dang.
She doesn't understand you. She doesn't understand what you're going through. We're here for you. This community understands you. How powerful is that message?
It's really powerful. I mean, that's exactly what was told to me.
Yep.
Yep.
E is for emotional control. Sound familiar?
Mhm.
Fear, guilt, shame, threats, punishment, or loss. Fear of losing your family. Guilt of putting your family in debt already for something that you realized didn't make sense. Shame for leaving your family for 15 years
Mm.
and now you feel like they don't love you anymore, but they seclude you for so long that it's hard to turn around again, find
Well,
yourself
it's that
again.
us versus them mentality.
Absolutely, and that's emotionally controlling. That's
Right.
what true abuse looks like.
And emotional control, I want to be as well very sympathetic to anybody who's been a part of a cult because, like, you do not know that you are part of a cult.
No, no,
You don't
you don't know
know.
until you have a perspective.
No, like, it is very, like, clear as day when you're out of it and you're, like, looking at all of these red flags and you see all these things, and all of a sudden that's very clear. But when you're in it, a lot of it is, under the guise of change. You're gonna change the world. You're gonna change yourself into to the best you can possibly be,
Mhm.
and it's for the good of mankind. It's a selfless act, and it feels very meaningful, especially to people who need more meaning in their life, to people who don't have as much and are, like, they're looking to pour themselves into something because they want their life to mean something. Don't we all?
Yeah.
Don't we all want our life to hold meaning? So, yeah, I just have a lot of sympathy for it because, you know, that control thing, sadly, it's not gonna be like this tyrant coming in and you're like, "That guy's wrong."
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's never like that. It's like, "That guy's a little intense, but I like what he's saying."
Yeah, it's always gonna start out small. I
Yep.
remembered another documentary that I watched called Desperately Seeking Soulmate: Escaping Twin Flames
Oh,
Universe.
I
Do you
watched
remember
that one
this?
too.
Crazy.
That was crazy
So,
because it was all from YouTube, right?
yeah, so they really just created this online community, and it was a cult promising to match people with their romantic partners. And
Yes, that girl.
yeah, they got married. People got married in it and they were
Yeah.
forced to be together. He was also a lot older and they were just seeking love. They were at their wits' end. They were not with people. They
Mhm.
were so alone. And that's a powerful motivation.
Yeah.
Alone and love, and someone's telling you you have a twin flame out there and we will find that twin flame for you.
Do you remember the girl who was like who came in and she's like, "I think I found my twin flame," but, like, he did not reciprocate the feeling, so they encouraged her to stalk him
Yes.
until she had multiple, like, um what is it called when you have
Restraining
restraining
orders.
orders? Yes, she had multiple restraining orders, like, against her,
Mhm.
and she just kept burying her feet in the sand because these leaders were like, "No, you're wrong. This is your twin flame."
Do you remember why it blew up? There were a group of people that
Mhm,
had been there forever trying to find their twin flame, and they hadn't found it yet, and they were not getting any new followers. So
mhm,
they started matching each other up.
right.
Same sex, and that was not their particular sexual orientation. And so they
I
were,
forgot about
I
this.
don't understand. I'm not sexually attracted to this person. I am friends with this person. How can this be my twin flame and my soulmate if physically I'm not attracted to them?
Yes, I do remember this part. Oh, man, that was
And it
wild.
blew up because everyone was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And I think, the cracks in the foundation were very apparent in that moment. And it just is so sad because you watch the aftermath and the trauma. And I think a lot of documentaries focus on the aftermath and the trauma of the aftermath more so
Yeah.
than like, why did you get into the cult in the first place? Like, and I don't even know if
Mhm.
there's enough information for that they even know themselves to have that conversation. It's a lot of self-awareness that would need to go into that.
Yeah,
But we did see the aftermath of that trauma.
we sure did.
That was rough.
I mean, everybody just needs a direction. Like, everybody's just looking for a place in this world, to quote Michael W. Smith.
Who's Michael W. Smith?
He's like this really old worship leader. He wrote, our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven on earth with. I knew you'd do that one. I knew you would know that one.
Of course I do.
Yeah, he rocked that one to death.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know if he wrote it, but I do know that he made it famous. Everybody is looking for a place in this world. And I think that when you find a group of people that you really feel understood with, you click with, and you feel like you have this leadership role, and they're going to give you things, they're going to give you these answers. I don't want to call, like, they just find vulnerable people.
Mm-hmm.
And we've all been a vulnerable person. So you don't have to like shove that off and be like, oh, that's never going to be me. Because when I had a really bad experience, I called my brother and I was like, yeah, I cannot believe this happened to me. I listened to so much true crime. And my brother was like, oh, okay. So because I listened to all these runners talking about how to run a mile in 8 minutes, all of a sudden I can run a mile in 8 minutes. And I was like, thanks.
Hey, that's actually sound logic, Dan.
I was like, okay, bud.
Actually sound
I was
logic.
like, wait a second, that makes a lot of sense.
Because when you're in it, like you were saying, you can't see the writing on the
No.
wall when you're in it because you are emotionally invested. Like, I think just having the understanding that you can be put in a situation and be vulnerable, and
Yeah.
you won't even know until you're on the outside and you realize, oh, wow, what just happened?
Yeah.
And you might need to take time to dissect exactly what happened, but it's not that far-fetched that
No.
people can land in a situation
Yeah.
where they need it. So
People just lose their way.
tell me about fundamentalism.
Okay, yes. So fundamental Mormonism, the FLDS, is an extremist offshoot of Mormonism and is not representative of mainstream LDS faith. However, again, remember it's the root. It's where it came from. So it's led by Warren Jess, who claimed prophetic authority.
It's always a prophet.
It's always a prophet seeing an angel, seeing God, saying he said something to me, and it's not what's written in the Bible.
So tell me about fundamentalism.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you about it through a little bit of a story of the docuseries that I watched. It is very dark, which is women losing their autonomy, not having a say in their life, and honestly, just like abuse, like from the point of being a child all the way up to being a grown woman. So it is a pretty dark docuseries about something that's happened in the world. But I think it's important for us to know. Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey is a Netflix docuseries about the FLDS, the Fundamental Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and their leader, Warren Jeffs, aka Satan himself.
Yeah, he claimed to be a prophet.
Yes, ma'am, he did. And he's kind of like the son of other prophets too. I don't know. He's confusing. You can just like look him up and then you're going to get the ick. Like that man is gross. He does not look cute. He looks very like sadistic, honestly. And there's just something wrong about him. I'm sorry. Call me judgy. I don't care. Phyllis and I were somewhere and there was a person in the room that made me feel so uncomfortable that when we got into a private area, I looked at Phyllis and I said, do not leave me alone with that man. And he was like, why? And I was like, because F politeness. That's why.
Yeah, trust your gut.
My
Always trust your
gut is telling me that that man is very bad. And like, moral of the story, I was right. Anyways, It takes place in mostly in these extremely isolated communities, like Short Creek, which sits right on the Utah-Arizona border. Um, and the isolation is on purpose. This is not just a cult doc about one bad guy. It's about a system that protected him for decades, unfortunately. So Warren Jeffs, he's not charismatic in the way we usually imagine cult leaders. He's not flashy, he's not charming, and somehow that makes it worse. He's positioned as a prophet, someone who speaks directly for God, which means his word isn't just law, it's divine instruction. Uh-oh, we're getting into your heart there. Anytime anybody has a divine instruction for you or something prophetic that they want to say, you really have to cross-examine that stuff, because that's when we're getting into the tethers of your mind, into the tethers of your heart, and they're roping in some things, and you really need to make sure that that is real and actually authentic and genuine, and it's not just somebody, Warren Jeffs, who wants to get there for a reason, because that means if you disagree with them, you're disagreeing with God. So the phrase "keep sweet" sounds so cute, right?
Yeah, harmless.
Pretty
harmless.
Yeah, pretty harmless, nothing bad.
Yeah.
But in this context, it means don't question,
Mm.
don't express anger, don't resist. Sounds like one of our Hermione.
Don't resist. Yeah, that's manacled for
That's
ya.
manacled for you. Ugh, God, that's terrible. This is like manacled like in real life.
No, 100%. And like
This is like the
I
Handmaid's Tale for real.
yeah, so sorry, manacled is her Draco and Hermione fanfiction, but
If you
with
haven't, let's talk about that. If you haven't listened to this, please.
Handmaid's Tale type of version. But I would be murdered, kicked out, a suppressive person immediately. Like, don't express anger is laughable. Truly, that's
Yeah.
laughable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Girls are pretty angry creatures.
Yeah. And also in the FLDS, like, because I also know some people who have come out of that, they are not allowed to wear makeup. They are not allowed to wear pants. They have all of these very prairie looking fashion, which is wild to me, because the Secret Life of Mormon Wives, it like couldn't be more opposite.
No,
Like
100%. The modernization of Mormonism vastly different than this.
fundamental is like you're stripped as well from school. Like they have it in these local communities because they want to be left alone. They want the police to leave them alone. They have control over everything. Women and girls were taught that obedience was holiness, that pain was purification, that jealousy, fear, or discomfort were moral failures on their part. And once you internalize that, the system doesn't even have to punish you anymore. You punish yourself. They make everything just work against you. So this is where the documentary becomes genuinely hard to watch, because so much of it centers on women and girls being treated as property. Wives could be reassigned, because again, remember, fundamental FLDS believes in, God, what's that word?
Polygamy.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
And they put the husband in a house for a week, and then he moves to the next wife, to the next family. And then he moves to the next wife and to the next family. And all of those wives have to get along and have to work with their budgets, this unified budget, this unified, like, everything. And this man gets to pick all of these different wives to come into the family. And they have all of these. It's horrible. I'm so sorry. It's just terrible. Anyways, they could be reassigned. Wives could be reassigned. Families could split. Girls were married off as children. And all of it was framed as sacred. This is amazing. This is holy. Jesus loves this.
The children part gets me every time.
I think there's a special place in a dark, dark place for those people.
I can't fathom the
No.
child abuse, because not only are you having this leader who has a prophet like and the narcissist qualities of thinking that he is the ruler, you then have to then recruit men who also think like that,
That's right.
also are narcissists, also are child abusers. And That is insane to see how many of them exist
Yep.
and are outspoken about it
Yep.
and are not afraid to raise your hand and say, "Yes, I'll marry a 14-year-old. Sign
Oh,
me up."
so
And I
terrible.
think there's just something so dark and twisted about giving people the opportunity to live like this.
Yes, well, and it's dark and twisted, and it goes into your brain. Like I'm gonna raise my children, and I'm gonna raise my sons into thinking, you know, you're just meant to be a husband. You're meant to have multiple wives. You're gonna have a huge family like me. Hopefully, you know your moms.
Yeah,
You
it's a
know,
cycle of abuse.
it's spiritualized cruelty. So one of the most important parts of this documentary is understanding why people they didn't just leave. They didn't have money. Education was limited. The outside world was portrayed as very dark, very evil, unknown. Okay. Leaving meant losing everything, like your family, your salvation, your identity. Again, these are red flags that we've talked about with
Because Scientology is the same way. You lose your family, your identity, your money. You lose everything when you
everything.
leave.
Everything. And a lot of the people, well, the one person I knew who got out of this cult.
Sorry, what?
Yes. It's
What
not
now?
my story to tell,
And
but
I did not
full.
know this before we started recording. Just FYI,
I
I'm
know, I
learning with
actually just
you. I'm
remembered.
learning with you.
She's this incredible person. I do believe that she helped testify against Warren.
Wow.
So, I mean, she was like in a hideout house for the FBI for 7 months before she was able to escape because all of the FLDS members were looking for her because she had escaped. But I mean, this woman did not have a car. She doesn't have all these things. Like the FBI was just like, I don't want to ruin her story because I haven't talked about it in a long time with her and I don't want to mess it up because those details are super important. But
Absolutely. Absolutely.
she truly didn't even know like how to do her makeup. Some of our first conversations were, I don't even know what to wear. I don't even know what to wear.
Yeah.
She was like, these are like some of my first pairs of jeans that I've ever had. And I was just floored and stunned. Like,
It's just like the smallest pieces of autonomy
mm-hmm.
that we don't even think about when we are picking out our clothes. Like just those small pieces
Yeah.
matter so much to the human psyche.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm glad that she found help and that she was able to help so many other people because she helped to shut him down.
It was crazy. Also, we talked about this, but when you're raised in something this extreme, you really don't see it as extreme. You see it as normal. And that's where I hope people are gracious towards it, not judgmental, because like that's where we all need to be gracious. Because I mean, this is the way you're raised. Like this is your normal.
Yeah,
Like
you don't know anything.
you don't know that not like that having 4 moms is weird.
100%. I think you've been in an abusive situation and that to have no fault of your own.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think like, yeah, when you're raised in it. And I also think that there's something to be said too about giving a lot of grace to the survivors of people who even chose it.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of that is that vulnerability. It's still the cycle of abuse. We would never judge someone for being in an abusive relationship.
That's right.
And we would only be there for them and have grace and compassion and understanding. So I think the same thing could be said in this situation too.
They didn't know a way out, and they also didn't know it was abuse.
Yeah.
They had no idea. So that's why in this docuseries, like the victims' testimonies are very moving. It's very grounding because we all struggle with different things. I just would never think that like struggling with the fundamentals of who you are. Like it was strange growing up that way. They also didn't know that years later that what happened to them was abuse. Some of them say they didn't even have the language for it at that time.
They probably have never even heard the word abuse.
No, like again, it's called keep sweet, pray and obey. Like pain is a part of life, and obeying is holy. Yuck. I'm sorry, just like
Oh, we needed that some light levity to this. Yeah, no, yuck. Because it's so interesting. We hear the word obey in the Christian faith a lot.
Yeah. I tell my kids to obey me.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start saying that.
I
But I
do.
think it's, there's a difference, in the choice to obey and the choice to question that, um, authority, right? Like,
Yes.
if my kids were like if I said, "You need to obey when I say this, it's nighttime, it's
Mhm.
time for bed." My kids are like, "Why? I don't understand." Well, your body needs 10 hours of rest. And when do you think we could get that? Is this a right time for you to go to bed? I think it is. So we're going to try it this way. You can question authority and ask questions.
That's a perfect example of giving a mom, like, an example of when a great time to teach them that why, because you should talk to your kids about why. If they have a question about why you've told them to do a certain thing, you should answer them. However, they should know, like, we're in a boat and we're swimming in the lake, and I'm telling you, get out of the lake and get into the boat now. That's not a good time to ask the question, why? Anyways, to wrap it up, this documentary isn't just about one cult. It's about what happens when authority goes unquestioned, when patriarchy is sanctified, when community loyalty outweighs individual safety, which are all red flags that we had previously talked about with the Scientology thing. So if you're ever left with the question, like we were, like, how does this stuff happen? Um, it's how many people are still trapped in systems like this, not because they don't want freedom, but because they've never been shown what freedom looks like. And that's what makes Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey so hard to forget.
Yeah, I think the word cult gets thrown around a lot, right? We use it for MLMs, gyms, fandoms, fanfics, churches, wellness influencers,
Ugh.
anything that feels just a little bit too intense.
Yeah.
Just a little bit too much. But we really wanted to talk today about not what people believe in. We're not questioning your beliefs, but when does faith stop being faith and start becoming control?
Mm.
Because believing in something deeply is not the problem. Losing your autonomy because of it, cult is actually not a scientific or legal term. So when psychologists and sociologists are referring to these groups, they don't categorize them in cult or not cult, which I
Right.
thought was super interesting. They look at the behavior patterns, power dynamics, and control. So, like a
Mm.
highly controlled spiritual,
They do call them high control groups, right?
yeah, high control groups.
Like in the law.
Very interesting. Like, cult is not a real word, it's a cultural word that we've used and adopted. I know some of you might be sitting there like, this is crazy, girls. Like, I don't need these red flags. I'm never going to get in this situation. But you could. And some of the questions we want you to go and ask when things just feel off, when your gut is feeling wonky. Am I allowed to question leadership? Am I being pushed socially or emotionally for leaving? Are you cut off from the people who disagree? And does fear keep you in?
Mm.
So I want you guys to think about those questions if you're in a situation, maybe it's a church or an MLM or any of those,
Or an ideology.
any of it. Just ask yourself those questions.
Also, just to remember some lighter note things, faith can be beautiful. It can give people structure, hope, and meaning. So don't be discouraged, but be equipped. You should know what's going
Yes.
on.
Be equipped.
Yes, because honestly, cult like behaviors start small.
Ain't that the truth?
You will all go through something that will make you question your faith. That's good. You should be questioning your faith. You should always be able to bounce it up against a wall. And it might be a long time before you get those answers, and maybe something changes in your heart. I don't know. And if you don't know, like, Matthew McConaughey had a wonderful interview about this, how he was an atheist for a long time. And he says it really beautifully in in a way that only Matthew McConaughey kinda can. He's talking about how, he thinks that God's proud of him for being an atheist for that long because he was like, "You did need to figure that out.
Mhm.
You did need to question." So I'm glad you finally figured that out. So be brave enough to question your faith and be brave enough to question people in authority.
I think that is a perfect way to wrap this bad boy up.
Yeah.
It's time to go to sleep. That was a heavy hitter.
Yeah, you might want to put on some white noise.
Oh, I really
tonight.
like Frequency on Spotify.
Yes.
Those are really soothing. I listen to them on the plane when I need to sleep.
You can also download Calm if you need maybe a softer story, and listen to Cillian Murphy's He'll Take You Through the Edges of Ireland.
Oh, yes.
I love that sleep time story. It's my
Or
favorite.
any of the other episodes.
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey's also on that. So.
Oh, I meant like of the Midnight Girlcast.
Oh, yes. Self-promoting.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment if you have any thoughts or other documentaries you think that we should watch, or our followers should watch as well. And we just appreciate you guys being here, but it's time to go to bed.
It's time to wrap up, girls. Good night, Midnight Girls.